Shalom.
Shalom. Shalom.
Shalom.
We do thank the Most High. We always like to say we thank the Most High, the God of heaven, Ahayah, his son Yashayah, who the world has been taught to call Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And the set apart Ruach Kudash, the Holy Spirit.
Josh just said a real mouthful right there. You know, I never talk over myself. I just want to add to what he just said, which the world calls what? Jesus.
Oh, yeah.
Where'd they get that name? Watch
we'll
this.
show you that too.
Yeah, we're going to show you. Look, Christians say that's the American way to say it. Where are you getting that?
Where is that in the Bible?
You got to go with the word says.
Mm-hmm.
They put that word Jesus in the Bible. That word don't belong there, and we can prove it in Acts with Peter, right? With Paul.
Yeah, when
on the road,
the Messiah appeared to him
on the road to Damascus,
and he spoke to him in the Hebrew tongue.
In the Hebrew tongue. So what do you think he said? Jesus? He didn't say Jesus.
He said his true name.
Mm-hmm. So, come on, Josh. Ishi.
We understand.
Yashayah.
If you do the research, there was no J until 400 years ago, 1641. 400 and about 470 years, there's been a letter J. So how is it? There it is. How is his name Jesus, or as far as what we were taught, when the J hasn't been in existence for only for 1600 years after Christ, there was no J. Now there blows the water out of the water of Jehovah. That was the J. Where'd they get the J from? It was Yahweh. First of all, and it was Yahweh. Yahweh. We did a couple lessons on that, and we might do another topic, another lesson on the origins of Yahweh. Yahweh is the Canaanite god. Actually, Yahweh in Egypt was worshipped as the moon god. Why? Because Yahweh is a pagan god. Actually, if you take it furthest in demonology, the witches, warlocks, and all the Satanists invoke Satan through his highest name of Yahweh, because that's also what the Freemasons use. They use a combination of Jehovah, Yahweh, Baal, and Osiris, or Jabulon. Tony, you got something to add to that?
No, I was just going to add Jabulon. So
all right, there you go.
Said that.
Right, you see.
I'll be right back.
Look, Tony, didn't we always say this, Mary, that the word in its entirety in the Bible it's all inspired, but there's words that were put in there by the Sadducees and the Pharisees, like Jesus, Lord, God, Jehovah, even church. They never mentioned the word church, Paul and them. They had a meeting place in thy house, Lois. It even says it in the word. See, there's a lot of words put in there. Rome had a big part in injecting words in the Bible that don't belong there. You tell me, where did the disciples ever hear good news? The word good news. The day they met Christ, they had more questions in their spirit than they ever had in their life. Doubts, fear, right? On the boat, remember?
Yeah.
The waves roaring. Why did you fear? That's only one scripture. I can remember probably 30, 40 that he mentioned. Why doubt? Only believe. Don't fear. They lived in fear for their lives when they started walking with this Messiah. Today, where do you see the Christian church persecuted? Where? Email us. Show me a church that's being persecuted in America. They're not, because they're run by the government. And as long as the government runs the Christian church run by Rome, all the churches are under Rome. Your famous church, Rome is there first. Catholicism, then Pentecostal, Baptist, you name it, all the way down the pyramid. And yet they'll claim they have nothing to do with the Catholic Church. And they have all their doctrines. All their doctrines are in the Christian church. So isn't it sad, guys,
Yeah.
not to do your own research to find these things out? Is it wrong to go to a Catholic church? It's not worse going to a Catholic church than it is going to a Baptist. They're the same. When you drive down the road, what's next to a Catholic church, son?
Probably
Another
Protestant,
Right.
most likely Protestant,
a Protestant or a Baptist or a Pentecostal.
or a synagogue.
Right, see? So they rule the world, the one world church.
The Nazareth really took over
Say
the
excuse me,
Catholic
Tony.
Church
Say excuse me. Before I say
on
something.
me.
No, just say I want to say something. Then say it.
Yeah, on
Go ahead. What, Tony?
really the Nazareth took over the Catholic Church from the beginning, actually.
Right, you see?
From maybe the 1st century old since.
They-
Because they were Jews.
There you go. Edomites. So,
Anyway,
yeah, see, if we look back right in our history, and we were all told we were Italians, but now that we found out who we really are, and we are keeping the law and the Sabbath and the holy days, feast days, we have an outside chance now to make it. And I even tell Afro-Americans that they're the Hebrews and you're the greatest people in the world. And I'll always tell them that because they are. But because of the fall in the wilderness with Moses, the curses, right, Mary, of Deuteronomy came upon your people. Nobody can match up or line up except for the people of the Bible, Judah, what do you call it, the Hebrews, the Mexicans, Issachar, the Puerto Ricans, Ephraim, all the tribes match up with Deuteronomy 28. But you got to be willing to look at it and read it right. And not let someone tell you what it's saying. You read it, tribe member, all right, tribal member. You read it. Read it for yourself. And then pray about it. Pray before you read it. And then you'll see that that's where it came from. We people that have this understanding today, I'm not making this up. It's all in the Word, right? It's in the Bible. But you got to look. Deuteronomy 33. Read it. It mentions all the tribes, where they came from, and where they are today. Now, we're not a camp, and GOCC is not a camp neither. We tend more to listen to them than anyone, if we have time to listen to anyone, because they have the right word, they have the right name of Christ and the Father, Ahayah, acaad, Ahayah, I am that I am, and that's his name forever. It's a memorial for all generations. There's only one God. And I don't like to use that word, God, but there's only one Ahayah. There's only one. When Moses said, what did Moses say? The Lord thy God is what? One.
Mm-hmm.
One. Not three. They didn't believe in a Trinity.
Mm-hmm.
But the Holy Spirit's been there as a woman since the beginning of creation. Correct, Josh?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So, with all that said,
Yeah.
let's move on to more information
Yeah.
concerning the fallen angels. Anyways, everybody, so it's very important to understand the times we are
Mm-hmm.
in. What did the Bible say? Understand as go to Matthew 28.
Yeah, that's right.
Matthew 24:36.
How easy you could tell the weather, but you can't tell the times. Matthew what, Josh?
24, 30.
24 what, Josh?
24,
38?
38.
All right. Everybody have it? Okay, out there? Matthew 24,
Enoch
38.
has validity because the
Do we have it?
I think it's 36.
36.
As-
Yeah. All right, well, we're going to stop. We're going to start at 36. No man knoweth the day and hour.
Mhm.
So
So-
if you're waiting for some great tribulation,
Right.
it ain't happening. You better stop listening to these Christians. Tell them, Josh. Break it down. with that great tribulation, John.
Well, if you understand
Israel,
Jeremiah chapter 30,
and his people,
Psalms
Afro-American,
137,
Judah, okay.
Psalms 83, Revelation 12, the children of Israel have always been in tribulation from their beginning because they've always been under every empire that's been known to man. The Egyptians, the Assyrians, the Babylonians, the Medes, the Persians, the Greeks, the Romans, the Islam, Nation of Islam, and
so
now
they've
America.
been falling away since the beginning of time, not just AD 70, right, Josh?
It's been a recurring thing.
But AD 70 was powerful.
That was when they completely lost.
That's when the
land.
Messiah was there and said, you better flee into the mountains of the Atlas Mountains of Africa. Now, right, Josh, if you go to the ancient maps, Israel is part of Africa. All you got to do is search it, and you'll see it. So,
all
right, Matthew 24, 26, 36. But of that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. Remember, he said his Father only. The Father and Christ are not the same. It's the Father, the Son, and the woman. But as the days of Noah were.
As the days of who?
Now, who tuned in last night? You know about the days of Noah now, right?
Now, and we're going to go back into this.
Right.
This is why I wanted to jump into this first. As the days of Noah were, what was happening before the flood? Why did the Most High flood the earth in the beginning? He didn't just flood the earth to flood the earth. Because he created the earth. He wasn't just killing.
It grieved him at his heart that he made man. He was sorry. We have a merciful power, don't we?
Uh-huh.
Go ahead, Josh. Go ahead, finish.
So what was happening before the flood? Why did the Most High destroy not only the earth, but people? Why did the Most High have to flood the earth to cleanse it, which is a form of baptism? He had to baptize the earth in water.
Come on.
To cleanse it of sin.
That's right.
That's a picture from. That's a picture of water baptism.
That's right.
What's another picture in the Old Testament when the children of Israel walked through the
Red Sea. Come on.
They were baptized under Moses, unto Moses. Now, when we're baptized into the truth of the Most High in Christ, we come under the spirit of the Hamashiach, or the Messiah.
That's right.
Christ, right? So, as the days of Noah were, read.
But as the days of Noah were, so shall also.
But so shall also, read.
The coming of the Son of Man be. Son of Man.
Son of
not
who?
God, Christ, Son of Man.
How is God now? Why does the Bible call the Messiah the Son of God and the Son of Man?
I got that.
Because Christ was the spiritual Son of God through the Holy Spirit.
That's right.
But he was the physical son of Joseph through the flesh.
Right. There you go. Beautiful. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating.
Now, who are the they? Because people we have to eat to live. We have to.
And that's what they think that it means.
We have to drink. We don't have to drink alcohol. We marry. But why does the Bible show
eating?
Okay, why does the Bible say they were eating? Because people have to eat. God doesn't have a problem with people eating, or he would have destroyed the earth 1,000,000 times, because people have to eat. So the they here is not solely speaking about people. It's speaking about the fallen angels. That's and right. The Nephilim.
They were eating people.
And they were cohabiting with people and dwelling amongst them.
That's right.
They were eating,
and drinking, marrying, and giving in marriage.
Stop. They were marrying and giving in marriage. People marry, people have sex.
Come on.
People have families. So this isn't just talking about mortal people marrying each other. This is talking about fallen angels. Let's prove it.
Come on.
Hold that.
Yeah.
Go to go to 2 Corinthians 11.
2 Corinthians, please, everyone. 11. Yeah.
11.
See, now this is called what, John? Tell me.
Precepts.
Precepts.
That's Isaiah 28,
That's
9 and 10.
11 what, Josh?
11, 13.
All right, 11, 13.
2 Corinthians
All right, let's get it quick
11, 13.
so we can get done early tonight because we're blessed with all those viewers last night. It was awesome. You know why we're blessed when we hear all those viewers? Because we know there's hungry spirits out there, hearts, minds that want truth, Josh. We're not doing it for no money. But we do need your offerings. $3, $5, $10 a month, whatever you can send without hurting your income. Okay. 4, such are false apostles.
So for such are false apostles,
deceitful workers of.
Who are these false apostles? And we know these are false teachers, but in a spiritual sense,
come on,
who are they? In going in line with Matthew 24.
Come on.
Fallen angels.
Transforming.
What?
Whoa. Transforming.
Doing what?
Transforming. Changing their form right in front of these women of men, of daughters of men, themselves into the apostles of Christ.
So
now
these
you know what's
fallen
going on in
angels transform themselves in. We also know this is talking about false prophets and false teachers.
That's right.
But going in line with Matthew 24, the fallen angels, and we also read this in Enoch, how they change their forms.
Come on.
To be like men, so they can have sex and reproduce or procreate with women.
And no marvel.
Don't
be gazed at, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. Now, you know the book we're reading, what do you call it? Adam and Eve. Remember that part that we read? Satan came to Adam and Eve and transformed himself. Therefore, it is no great thing if his ministers also
who is Satan's ministers?
Come on. Tell it, Josh.
At the top, the fallen angels.
That's right.
So it's no great marvel that the fallen angels can also transform themselves into the ministers of Christ.
Now, how does that happen? It's handed down to the fallen angels, to the false big churches in America, right on down to all religion. And that's where they are. Right?
That's good for now. Now we're going to listen.
Go back. Okay. All right. So you got to be careful where you're sitting.
Bible validates it. Now I see a lot of people going into these different books and have no idea what they're going into. I don't say, listen, I tell people like, listen, okay, but don't come to us with some mess after you went into those books without any guidance. I read all those books. We did it. We took 3 years out and read out all the books. All right. So I'm not going to, and not only that, even some of the stuff that is okay, you got to have the doctrine of the Bible to be able to pick out some of the bones that were placed in it.
That's right.
Or you will go off with that too.
Right, the Bible's got to confirm it.
All right.
Like we did last time, we proved it.
The book of Enoch is sound.
That's right.
I'm talking about the book of Enoch. Now, if you start going into the secrets of Enoch and all that, hey, that's on you. All right. We never told you to do that. Next thing you know, you'll be dealing with Enochian magic, trying to ride a magic carpet or something. We have nothing to do with that. We're just trying to stick with the Bible and the books that the disciples read, that the Bible actually show us to go to. That's what we do. We don't go into, even though I read the other books, I was able to look at it. And by filtering it with the Bible, I knew that, okay, it's not right. And then I did the research on it, especially all the New Testament writing. The majority of the New Testament writings, like the book of Timothy. They got another book called the ones that the Muslims want to go to all the time. The Epistle of Barnabas. All that stuff is 2nd century plagiarism, all of it. I did the research on all of them, all those New Testaments. But
Clement too.
The Apocalypse of Paul, which actually links in from the Bible suggests that book. Now, I'm going to show that soon too. That's without question, all right, for New Testament. And that's about one of the only ones I really go into to say, okay, you can go into that and get full understanding, links directly with the Bible when it comes to New Testament. Okay, even there's some good things in Nicodemus, but still parts of Nicodemus. There's a lot of things in it because it don't link with the validity of the foundation of doctrine. All right, because we know that the Catholic Church got their hand on our records, so you have to filter those records with the Bible. But one thing about Enoch, you don't have to worry about Enoch. You go to the first Enoch, translation R.H. Charles, which was actually translated out of the records of the Qumran Caves. There's nothing wrong with it. The whole book meshed directly with the Bible. No problem at all. As I read, here's a quote in Enoch, exactly, almost verbatim, what we read in the book of Jude. Okay, now let's go into and let's talk about before the flood and how spirits began to multiply and destroy mankind. And let me tell you, these guys, they're not guys. These spirits that are over the guys, boy, they're on it. This is their job 24/7. I mean, even the creation of the television was part of their mass programming to say, okay, let's do before the flood on steroids. Okay, let's make it where we can actually influence evil and multiply evil all at once, any place.
So look at all this. The Jewish people control the television.
That's right. Everything.
That's
all
your
TV,
CBS,
the printing press,
CNN,
the news,
Fox News, NBC, ABC.
Tell them, Josh, and
ESPN.
and they have
VH1,
guidelines. They are only permitted to say what they're told to say.
Nickelodeon.
Come on.
CMT.
That's right. Wow. Fox.
CNN. CBS.
MTV. Spike. NBC.
What you call it? All these TV channels are filtered through Jewish people.
That's right.
That's why all the TV shows that we see do what they exalt women and they put men down. Think about it. Why men on TV, the man is put down constantly. Men are made to look weak, and the women are always empowered.
It's there every advertisement. The man breaks through the wall, makes a phone call, and she walks through the wall. Like that. Yeah, it's always something where and then with the walking up the stairs with the Scholl's shoes, and what do you call those things for the doctor? What do you call them? The doctor's thing that you put on your shoes and your shoes? Dr. Scholl's?
Shoals.
Shoals, all right? They show the woman jogging up 100 flight of steps, and the man is dragging behind, like huffing and puffing. It's all over. If you look close, just because the word says a woman will surpass a man, in the word it doesn't mean that it's right. Right?
Yeah. When the Bible says that,
right, it
means in Satan's world, he'll use the woman against the man to exalt herself over him.
Right.
And that's why they do that on the TV. They use the female against they use the woman. That's why, like we said, all the TV shows with women on them, they always put down the man. Like on court TVs, fraternity court, they always make the man out, or like Jerry Springer, Steve Wilkos, they always make men out to be bad.
Right. That's right.
Like they're always doing something bad to the woman.
Right.
When they never really.
How about the women being bad to the men? You never see that.
What about that?
Mm-hmm. Isn't that putting the cart before the horse? Right.
So, because first of all, TV is fake to begin with.
That's right. Television.
So they want you to believe that men are bad. So
right.
Women can be always working, not worry about having a family.
So the government can own their children.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
So let's continue.
Right.
Okay, and let's use a magic box where we can suppose we can be in everyone's house at one time.
Everything is okay.
Instead of waiting for them to come amongst us to try to convince someone in their family to take that.
Everything's all right.
What if we could just be in everyone's home and just convince them? And we'll play on their individuality to make them believe that what they're learning is something special that actually separates them from the rest. Using psychology, Sigmund Freud psychology, to bring people into the grips and bonds of Satan. So this is what they thought. This is how they brought it forth. But here's the blueprint, what we're reading. What we're reading in Enoch is the blueprint. This is the plan they use. But through technology, they're able to do it on a mass or what you would call great level. Let's go to the beginning. Linking into Genesis 6 on the fallen angels. Read.
Enoch chapter 6 verse 1. And it came to pass when the children of men had multiplied in those days.
Same thing we read in Genesis. Go ahead.
In those days were born unto them beautiful and comely daughters. And the angels, the children of the heaven, saw and lusted after them, and said one to another,
what's wrong with that?
Come, let us choose us wives from among the children of men, and beget us children.
Let us choose amongst them and beget us children. Now listen, angels were not made to have children because they were made eternal. So this is a sin. 2 Peter 2 and 4, the angels that sinned. Now, through Hollywood, they actually pushed this. They tell you exactly who they worship, and they tell you exactly what they're doing. But yet they put it in a form of film so that you can just push it off as someone's idea or just a good movie or entertainment. They had a movie called The City of Angels, where Meg Ryan and Nicolas Cage. He was the so-called guardian angel, and he fell in love with her. And they made this elaborate love story until you're sitting back cheering for him to fall to be with this woman. Right? And his fall meant her death. You notice that? His fall, the next day after he dealt with her, meant her death. And now he was left on earth, separated from the rest of his fall of the sons of God, who seen him and knew that he was once amongst them. And you look at it as a movie. And let me tell you, they know.
Maybe he couldn't get it. That's why it's against.
They know.
Why?
Okay. Read.
And Simjaza, who was their leader, said unto them, I fear you will not indeed agree to do this deed.
Go ahead.
And I alone shall have to pay the penalty of a great sin. And they all answered him and said, Let us all swear an oath, and all bind ourselves by mutual imprecation.
Let's bind ourselves by mutual imprecation.
Not to abandon this plan, but to do.
Round two, but just a part of it.
Hold on, I'll come right back to this, you got everybody.
Yeah.
I want to show you all something. To prove this, watch this. There's proof of this right in front of you.
They've got the book of Enoch. Isn't the secrets of Enoch in there? Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
It's a different book.
No, I got it in there. I got it in there. The secrets. Oh, because he doesn't agree with the lost books of the Bible. He doesn't agree with the lost books of the Bible.
Yes, he does.
He just said it, They did 3-year study on all of them. He's telling him that he's not going to agree with it if we tell him what he said.
Just as believe in the secrets of Enoch. That's all.
Why? It's true.
No, because he's saying that was put in after.
So what? So maybe they found out. They found more research on it. Right? You know, Tony, they're not the only ones that do research. Other people do research.
That's true. Yeah, right.
Right? You know, this man is maybe too busy now. He grew. You know, there might be people stepping past him now. And we have to be aware of that and not talk about Rakam, but find out where he's getting from.
Just to prove. Now listen, watch this, everybody. These are actual angels that people have caught on camera. And then I'm going to go back to Ricard.
Regardless of religion, most people believe in angels, and many have reported direct encounters with angels or having seen them. Angels transcend religious and cultural barriers and seem omnipresent. Sightings of angels and angelic figures go back thousands of years, but with cell phone cameras and constant CCTV footage, it's easier than ever to record. From Mexico. On November 27, 2005, he recorded a group made up of a different type of UFO that may be divine in nature and not necessarily alien. The video shows 5 humanoid figures floating over Mexico, either wearing white garments or emitting a bright white light from their bodies. The beings seem to have legs, arms, torsos, and heads, and they appear to hold their arms stretched outright. The figures revolve and rotate in intricate, almost synchronized patterns. They also seem to almost fade in and out as if.
Wow, awesome.
Now look at this, everybody.
Wow.
An angel caught on camera. And a fallen angel even.
It's spotted in real life. Is that a amazing computer? See it? Go back some minute.
All day, man. Yo, what's up? Whoa. Dude, what the hell? hell is that? Dead body. Dude, is he really dead? I don't know. I mean, he looks dead. Why don't you put your down? No, hell no, man. You can do that. I ain't doing
Now watch this, everybody.
Man.
It's going to come from that side of the screen on the left.
Hey, come on, man. Don't do that. Man. It's dead, man. It's dead. Why not? Did you see that blood? Oh, man. We should call the cops, dude. Oh, man, what the hell are those things coming out of his ground? I don't know. These are like bones for horror movie shit, man. Dude, we should call the cops, yo. Well, I gotta turn off the camera to call the cops, bro. We'll call the cops, man. I mean, the guy can still be here. All right, shit. Hold on. What's the end? What's up? Oh, dude, what are you doing? Hey, look, man, we already called the cops. You should just go. Dude, what if that's the killer? Seriously, this is a crime scene. Dude, that could be a killer. Look,
now watch this, everybody.
Come back, right? They just watch one. You need to watch the movie. Oh, dude. Oh my God.
Now that's not a camera trick.
Tripping out right now. We should split. Wait, dude. Cut. What if they got some kid? They have my number. Dude.
Wow.
What are you doing right now? We should split. Wait.
What did you do, Josh?
They just watch them. You need to watch the movie. What if that's the killer? Seriously, this is a crime scene.
Angel.
That could be a killer. Look,
Death Angel, yeah.
Watch this. Now watch this, everybody.
Oh, dude.
That's the.
Dude, I'm tripping out right now. We should
took over his body.
Cut. What if they got some kid? They have my number. Dude, wake up.
This is real, folks.
Show it again.
Look again. Took him down. Did you see that, folks?
All caught on camera.
It might attack me. Attention. Watch close.
Look at this.
They say no make believe.
This is not a camera trick. It's right there in front of you.
You see this, viewers? Check it out.
Watch this.
You come down on Mount Hermon all the time. You see that, Mary? Honey? Wow. Now, where do you think the American government and the world government get their technology and their knowledge from? They come down on Mount Hermon and they talk to the presidents and all the world leaders. The stars on your American flag are symbols of the fallen angels.
It was a good. Anyway, back. We just wanted to show you all that.
Enoch has validity because the Bible validates. Affect mankind, how to sharpen them, how to do certain things with them. Go ahead.
And bracelets and ornaments.
Bracelets, ornaments.
And the use of anatomy.
And the use of anatomy. Go ahead.
And the beautifying of the eyelids.
And the beautifying of the eyelids. That means shaping up the eyes and having that look and doing certain things that actually makes you an individual outside of everyone else. It's teaching individuality. That's what they were doing. Like the arching of the eyebrows, the paint and all that, the extravagant paint over the eyes and all those things. That was taught by the fallen angels. Read.
And all kinds of costly stones.
And all kinds of costly stones.
They believe this, but they don't believe.
Showing them how to cut the diamond, how to make them shine and all those things. Because we know that the fallen one was covered by all these precious jewels. So now they're teaching people to make these jewels and these diamonds precious. To value them. When really, we should be more valued than a piece of rock. Okay? Read.
And they coloring tinctures. Fornication.
So now it's going into what happened in Genesis, the 6th chapter, in detail. Go ahead.
And they were led astray and became corrupt in all their ways. Some Jowser taught enchantments and the root cuttings.
So one taught the enchantment. Go ahead.
And the armorers, the resolving of enchantments.
And the other one taught how to get a root or what you would call a
X.
When they put a rip on a person or put a curse on a person. Jowser taught how to put the curse on, and another angel taught how to get the curse off. See, and this is a lot of our people deal with this. You go to these little witch doctors or these little guys and say, listen, I want to do something against a person. They're getting this from
Dominican Republic, Haiti,
the spirit of Jowser, or demons who taught that, which were the children of Jowser and the angels. And then you go to another guy and say, I think someone got a curse on me. Can you give me something to take it off? Another one taught how to take the rip off the person. And of course, if you're under Christ, none of these things have power. But if you believe in them, and see, we're in the system that teaches you to deal with the laws within this earth. If you believe in them, they have power over you. Read.
Some Jowser taught enchantments and root cuttings. Armorers, the resolving of enchantments. Barak taught astrology.
So one taught astrology. Read.
Acaad, the constellations. Ezekiel, the knowledge of the clouds. Ahayah, the signs of the earth. Shemi, the signs of the sun. Yashayah, the course of the moon. And as men perish, they cried, and their cry went up to heaven.
So through time, because first it was all good. The people had the technology, they were having a good time. They were learning things they didn't know before. It was all good. But then the same powers that gave them this technology began to consume them. Sound familiar, right? Now these free people were now enslaved by the fallen angels and demons and Nephilim. Okay, this is what happens. It's crystal clear right here. And now people are praying to the Most High now, like, can you do something about this? But yet we took their technology, we reverenced them. It's a two-edged sword, so to speak, right? So now the people have learned all types of things, and now there's party, chambering, evil, witchcraft, sorcery, you name it, it's going on. Men have forgot the Most High. That's what we're reading right here. So now they're praying to the Most High. So what did the Most High do? He looked at the righteous man that was in the earth and said, okay, it's time to get Enoch. Okay. It's time to get Enoch. What we're going to do is we're going to have the son of, we're going to have Noah get prepared that ark, and we're going to have Enoch prepared to judge these fallen angels.
And the sun.
Now, let's see the judgment of so-called
You
Azazel.
don't believe that the Most High took him and showed him how.
Let's get that judgment of Azazel.
That I believe, yeah. The demon that's in there.
Chapter 10, and let's start at the first verse.
Enoch, chapter 10, verse 1. Then said the Most High, the Holy and Great One spake, and sent Uriel to the son of Lamech.
Now, this is when Enoch was translated before the Father. Read.
And said to him, go to Noah and tell him in my name.
Go to Noah and tell him in my name.
Hide thyself, and reveal to him the end that is approaching, that the whole earth will be destroyed, that a deluge is about to come upon the whole earth, and will destroy all that is on it. And now instruct him that he may escape, and his seed may be preserved for all the generations of the world.
So this is what happened. This is the conversation in the heavenly realm before the Most High sent the angel to warn Noah, to tell Noah to prepare us a way to hide himself, which was the ark and his family. Read.
And again, the Most High said to Raphael.
Then he said to Raphael, Raphael Allah, go ahead.
Bind Azazel, hand and foot.
Bind Azazel, hand and foot.
And cast them into the darkness.
And cast them into the darkness.
And make an opening in the desert.
And make an opening in the desert.
Which is in Dudael.
Which is in Dudael.
And cast them therein.
And cast them therein. Go ahead.
And place upon him rough and jagged rocks. And cover him with darkness. And let him abide there forever.
And let him abide there forever. Go ahead.
And cover his face, that he may not see light. And on the day of the great judgment, he shall be cast into the fire.
The time, the sun, the moon, he showed him everything.
And heal the earth, which the angels have corrupted, and proclaim the healing of the earth.
Go ahead.
That they had
Enoch's father.
That they heal the plague, and that all the children of men may not perish through all the secret things that the watchers have disclosed and have taught their sons.
Go ahead.
And the whole earth has been corrupted through the works that were taught by Azazel.
Read it again.
And the whole earth has been corrupted through the works that were taught by Azazel.
The whole earth has been corrupted by what was taught through Azazel. Azazel taught the war and the evil. Okay? Wow. Now I have a document right here. It talks about the Giza plant and what's going on with the Great Pyramid. Also, I've seen documents to show that at the bottom of the Great Pyramid, at the top, the same distance from the top to the bottom, there's a rock slid in place that no one can move. There's a tunnel there and no one can move it. The desert Dudael is where the Great Pyramid Giza is. And see, and that's why, till this day, the all-seeing eye on their money is showing the Great Pyramid. It was the only pyramid that was built before the flood. Pithom and Ramesses were built after the flood, but not the Great Pyramid Giza. That's where Azazel is. Okay? So when your diplomats and all that be coming to Egypt, and they did come to Egypt not too long ago, they had a big meeting at the pyramid, and it was closed down so that no one can come through. It was closed down for all the high illuminists. They were actually worshiping Azazel. All right. Now let's see what came of the Nephilim. This leads us to
Nick can continue and listen to it.
We'll show you all some other stuff.
Yeah.
Let's go into so we showed you Matthew 24 about how they were eating, drinking. So we understand. Okay. We understand that these fallen angels, and let's just go into it again. We went through it last night. let's refresh it for anyone who may be new. Genesis chapter 6. Go to Genesis 6. Dad.
Okay. Genesis 6. Okay, Genesis 6. Where, Josh?
At the top.
Okay, Genesis chapter 6 at the top. The wickedness of mankind. And it came to pass when men began to multiply on the face of the earth. See the face of the earth? That means the earth is flat. And daughters were born unto them.
The same thing we read out of Enoch. And
that's right.
So we and we're following together. So basically, at a time when mankind started having a lot of children, remember, these were all black people.
Right.
So these women were black women.
Beautiful black women. That the sons of God, the angels of men, the angels of heaven, saw the daughters of men, that they were fair, they were beautiful. And they took them wives of all which they chose. And the Most High said.
So these sons of God, as we have read in Enoch and Job 1 and 2 Peter 2, are the fallen or the sons of heaven, the angels, right?
The angels of heaven.
What happened was these women were so beautiful that the angels saw them and they wanted to make wives out of them, make them have their children. And again, as we read in 2 Corinthians, the ministers of God or Satan transform themselves into men.
Come on, that's right.
Right?
That's right.
Meaning, when they came through the atmosphere of the earth, when they hit the earth, they had to change themselves into
a man form,
into the form of men, so they could have relations with earthly women.
And we showed you that.
That's where we get stories about like Superman, Batman.
Those are all real, you know.
Flash, the Green Arrow. All of these superheroes are actually modern versions of the Nephilim, the children of. And what do you have with all these? Like Spider-Man, what do you have? What's the common thread of these stories? These creatures or these people always end up sleeping with a woman. Why is that? Because they're showing you what happened in the Bible in Genesis chapter 6.
They go out with women right away as soon as they come down.
How the fallen angels, all fallen angels always sleep with women.
That's right. And they go right into technology. They were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose. And the Most High said, my spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh. Yet his days shall be 120 years. So actually, the Most High gave them 120 years to repent. Or maybe it was a lifetime of their life. There were giants in the earth in those days.
There were what?
There were giants.
So after the Nephilim, or no, after the angels changed themselves into the form of men and had sex with the women,
they became giants.
The children were born, and the children were known as giants or Nephilim,
right?
Or great ones.
That's right. There were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of Ahayah came in unto the daughters of men, had sex, and they bare their children to them. The same became mighty men.
Read.
Which were men of old, men of renown. And the Most High saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his mind was only evil continually.
So,
and he repented the Most.
So that, and the Most High saw. So after the fallen angels started to instruct man, and the giants started to be the gods of the earth, like Zeus, Apollos, Apollyon, Apollo, Venus,
Jupiter,
Hades. Say something right fast.
Okay. I hope you're being blessed with this. Well, as far as I've been taught so far in 8 years with understanding, we're not saying we know more than anyone else. That's on YouTube because we don't. But those lost books of the Bible are real. All those books in there, all of them. All of them. Barnabas, the extra books of Peter, all of them were hidden in the earth in the Dead Sea Scrolls. And I believe they have a lot of authenticity and a lot of truth. What, Tony? Authenticity. They're official. They're authentic. And it's not good for one man to say, that they're not, unless we do the research on them too, which we haven't. But I'm looking forward to keep reading this book, the lost books of the Bible, and the forbidden Garden of Eden.
Stop. Okay. So after the fallen angels had children, the not only did the Nephilim or the giants become the teachers of men, they became worshipped as gods, and as well as they taught men to worship the angels. That's where we get what the scientists call planets. That's why they're all called Mars, Jupiter. These are all angels or gods.
And you'll hear Newsweek. Well, if you watch the news a lot, they'll always mention the Earth as planet Earth.
The Bible, the Earth is not a planet.
That's right.
Read.
Okay. And the Most High saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of his thoughts of his mind was only evil continually. And it repented the Most High that he had made man on the earth, and it grieved him at his mind. And the Most High said, I will destroy man, whom I have created from the face of the earth. There it is again. Both man and beast and creeping thing, and the fowls of the air, for it repented me that I have made them.
So why did it repent the Most High that he made animals when he made the animals? Because the fallen angels were teaching the Nephilim
to splice,
the science of gene splicing and how to make hybrid animals or even hybrid people. That's why the Most High told the children of go to the book of Deuteronomy chapter 7 verse 1.
Deuteronomy 7:1. Deuteronomy 7. Okay. All right. So everybody has it. Deuteronomy. Right, Mary? Mary, you have it? 7:1. Again, man. When the Most High thy power shall bring thee into the land whither thou goest to possess it.
Now remember, the Israelites were a pure seed. Read.
Come on. And have cast out many nations before thee.
Now read.
The Hittites, the Gedrigites, and the Amorites, and the Canaanites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites. 7 nations greater and mightier than thou.
So now, okay, why were they supposed to cast these people out of Canaan? Why? Because they were half people. They were just like in Daniel 2, where it talks about they shall mingle themselves.
Wow.
These were mingled seeds of hold on, so everyone can follow, so they know what we're saying. Deuteronomy 7. Okay. Verse 2.
Okay. Hold on. And when the Most High thy power shall deliver thee before thee, thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them.
Thou shalt what?
Smite them, kill them. Thou shalt
Now,
make,
why did the Most High strictly command Israel to kill everyone?
Come on.
Because he didn't want
God
these
is love.
people to influence them to worship the fallen angels. Why? Because these people were mixed, mingled seed. These were the children of the fallen angels.
That's right. And utterly destroy them. That thou make no covenant with them.
Don't make covenant with them because they're not fully people.
Nor show mercy unto them. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son. Nor his daughter shalt not take unto thy son, for they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods. So will the anger of the Most High be kindled against you, and destroy thee suddenly.
Go to Deuteronomy 12, and we'll show another video.
12, Deuteronomy 12, okay.
Deuteronomy.
Yeah,
You running out? You gonna stay home?
12 where?
12 where?
38, 28.
28, Tony. All right, Mary? Deuteronomy 12, 28.
Then
we have it?
Show another video, then we'll close.
Observe and hear all these words which I command thee, that it may go well with thee and with thy children after thee forever. When thou doest that which is good and right in the sight of the Most High thy power. When the Most High thy power shall cut off the nations from before thee.
Now, the same thing we read in Deuteronomy 7, when they went into land eventually under Joshua.
There's a good precept.
Joshua, yeah.
Whither thou goest to possess them, and thou succeedest them, like rule over them, and dwellest in their land. Take heed to thyself, that thou be not snared by following them. After that, they be destroyed from before thee.
So, why does it say, take heed to not be snared by them? Because these people were half humans.
That's right.
These were what we would call hybrids.
Come on.
That's why the Most High,
nomads.
The Most High commanded them to be utterly destroyed. Because who were they worshiping? The fallen angels and the giants.
Come on. And that thou inquire not after their gods.
Thou do what?
And that thou inquire not after their gods, saying, how did these nations serve their gods?
Who are their gods?
If you get
the Nephilim, the giants, and the fallen angels.
That's right.
Read.
Even so will I do likewise. I'll destroy you. Thou shalt not do so unto the Most High thy power, for every abomination to the Most High which he hated have they done unto their gods. For even their sons and their daughters they have burnt in the fire to their spirit.
Now we understand why they use human sacrifice. Because the angels and Satan need blood to rule, just like Christ used his blood to redeem.
Like the government.
Satan used his blood to keep his ministers, the angels, and his people, the government leaders, in power. Okay, so let's go. Let's close the Bible, and we will.
Cute glasses. I can't find mine, and they cost hundreds of dollars. What am I going to do? Go to
Read.
And the angels which kept not their first estate.
And the angels which kept not their first estate,
but left their own habitation.
to show you angels who were watchers or living or inhabiting space, what we call space, which
they
is
were
really
angels
heaven.
of heaven. They were pure.
Read.
But left their own habitation.
They left their own dwelling place.
He have reserved an everlasting chain under darkness unto the judgment of the great day.
So there was fallen angels that were bound in Hades before the flood during the time of Enoch, and led to all types of evil to the point where Noah was afraid.
And again, if you all want to look at this video, it's called The True Understanding of Angels, GOCC Bible Teachings.
High protected Noah and his children, said, build an ark. Leave there and build an ark. Why? Because if Noah did not listen, Satan's creation would have consumed all of the Most High's creation. Satan's science. Okay? So they are bad angels, angels that sin. What was their sin? They came down and did their own will and lusted after women and bare a hybrid creation outside of what you would read in Genesis. They started making their own creation.
That's the Nephilim,
which was against the Most High. Later, those children were referenced as titans or gods in the earth.
30 or 40,
and the Most High until this day, the pagans worship them. They worship that land, Atlantis, the same land the Most High crumbled to the bottom of the sea.
Because that was the city of the giants.
They worship the gods of Atlantis. See?
All good information, people.
Bring
Listen.
it back to this plane. Let's go more into angels. Why? I'm saying this because you're going to see, and I'm going to put this out there, that once this system breaks down, and it will break down, the Most High will guide us again. Our technology and the things that we're dealing with in the earth has separated us from the spirit to the point where we feel no need to link in to the spirit for help. But the time is coming soon where we're going to need a guide physically in this earth that will guide us from one place to the next. I'm going to show you it's coming. Not if you're praying to Satan, though.
That's right.
Okay?
Come on.
Put that 6-pointed star and start praying to Yahweh something. You think something's going to come. Something is coming, but it's not going to be what you think. It's going to be called the specters and gems.
Come on.
That's what's coming to you. You're going to pray these demons into your existence. All right? Let's get more of the angel. The angels in the Old Testament, the righteous angels.
Give another pill.
All right?
Give another pill.
Let's get
okay.
There's so many. I can't hit them all. Let's get Genesis 22. Let's get back there. (22:1). More with Abram.
Genesis chapter 22, verse 1.
Read.
And it came to pass after these things that the Most High did tempt Abraham and said unto him, Abraham. And he said, Behold, here I am. And he said, Take now thy son, thy only son, Isaac.
And this is why Muslims don't like the Bible, because Ishmael is not being acknowledged as a son in the books of Moses. So they just say, well, the Bible's tampered with. We don't want to hear it because you're not acknowledging Ishmael. Well, Ishmael is not the son of promise. And how dare any of our people worship a fake God under Islam? When Ishmael is not the people. The Most High gave you the promise and you're bowing to a rock. See? The Most High is not even acknowledging Ishmael. See? So the prophets were always directed by an angel, even in old time. Let's get the 15th verse.
Verse 15.
Read 14 and 15.
Verse 14. And Abraham called the name of the place Jehovah Jireh, as it is said to this day. In the mouth of the Lord it shall be seen.
Now we know that he didn't call this place Jehovah Jireh. And this is more proof of a Masoretic injection.
Mm-hmm.
How do we know that? Let's go to Exodus 6 and 3.
Let's say again, Josh.
Read.
The book of Exodus, chapter 6, verse 3. And I appeared unto Abraham, unto Isaac, and unto Jacob, and by the name of God Almighty. But by my name Jehovah was I not known to them.
So Jehovah was in the Bible. How can Abraham name a place Jehovah Jireh when it says that Jehovah was not even a name given to Abraham? See, that when you go into the Bible, you can actually find their deception. Jehovah wasn't there at all. Jehovah is a tetragrammaton injection by the Masoretes.
That's right.
And it's actually, in English, a word linking to Baal of the tetragrammaton.
That's right.
See? How can Abram name that place Jehovah Jireh? In Exodus 6, he told Moses, well, Jehovah wasn't given to Abram. They slipped right there. See? Go to the next verse.
This is Genesis chapter 23.
Do y'all understand what that, Glenn? Okay, go ahead.
Genesis 22:15.
Go ahead.
And the angel of the Lord called unto Abraham out of heaven the second time, and said, By myself have I sworn, saith the Lord, for because thou hast done this thing, and hast not withheld thy son, thine only son, that in blessing I will bless thee, and in multiplying I will multiply thy seed as the stars of the heaven, and as the sand which is upon the seashore. And thy seed shall possess the gate of his enemies, and in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed.
See that? So the promises came from the angel of the Lord down to Abraham. Who was the angel of the Lord in the Old Testament?
That was good, right?
Yes, that was Christ. He was a messenger of the Father for the Father. See that? That's crystal clear to you there? He was leading us the whole time. So Christ is the beginning and the end. He's not just a New Testament. So Christians need to snap out of it. He's the beginning. Right?
That's right.
Let's get the one just for verification. Where it says the rock, Romans 10. Yeah, 1 Corinthians 10, yeah. 10 and 1 through 4.
The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 1.
More proof. Read it.
Moreover, brethren, I would not that ye should be ignorant, how that all our fathers were under the cloud.
All of our fathers were under the cloud.
And all passed through the sea.
And all passed through the sea when the children of Israel came out of Egypt through the Reed Sea.
Verse 2. And all were baptized unto Moses.
Why? Because they had to go through water to make it to the other side, to be saved. The same way you must go through regular water to be saved under Christ, under the new covenant. Read.
In the cloud and in the sea. And did all eat that same spiritual meat.
That spiritual meat was the manna that rained down when our forefathers were hungry. Read.
And did all drink the same spiritual drink.
Read.
For they drank of that spiritual rock that followed them.
Remember when Moses smit that rock and water came out? Whose power was emanating when Moses hit that rock? Who was the Most High using? Was it just Moses? Let's see.
And that rock was Christ.
Was who?
And that rock was Christ.
That was Christ that led us out of Egypt. See? That was Christ that destroyed the firstborn of the Egyptians. That was Christ. And when Moses, the great leader, once he began to take credit for what the Most High sent his son to do, he was punished. The Most High let him see the land, but he could not cross over into it. Why? He sent his son to lead the children of Israel out of captivity. The same son that had to die so that we can come back again. And yes, Christ will lead us out of captivity again. And he will use his angels. I'm going to go there in a moment. Let's get some more.
Okay, everybody. That was a good Sabbath lesson.
Really was, Josh.
We'll come back to you and keep sharing some more information again. The true understanding of angels, and the other one is the origin of fallen angels and demons and Nephilim.
Thanks for offering it, Josh. Good. You can ask.
So we wanted to always ask for donations and financial support, spiritual support through prayer of this work. Again, everything we've shown you is all through the Bible. Who are the leaders of America truly? The fallen angels.
That's right.
The Bible says in Sirach 17:17 that only the nation of Israel have the Most High over them, and not the Jewish people, the true Hebrews.
That's right.
So
anybody stuck in religion?
We understand that the fallen angels are the ones behind the governments. That's why the government and the nations of the earth are so evil, right? Homosexuality, lesbianism, abortion, all this wickedness. Why? Because they're being led by fallen angels. They're not being led completely by fully people, because these people are also what we would call transhuman, because they're half human and half demon. They're so evil. They're so evil, the leaders of the earth, that there's so much evil inside of them that half of them is human and half of them is Satan.
For we wrestle not against flesh and blood.
So we encourage everybody to study, be a student, be a disciple, be under the truth of Christ and the Bible. Be baptized, and shalom.
Shalom.
Yeah, see you Monday.
Just say shalom.